By the end of this video, you'll have a fully automated system that keeps your vector databases perfectly in sync so that your RAG agent always has the right context. In my last video, I covered RAG fundamentals and showed you how to build a simple workflow. Today, we're leveling up. You'll learn how to build systems that watch for newly created or updated files in Google Drive and then syncs those changes in your vector database in real time. As a refresher, RAG stands for Retrieval-Augmented Generation. Basically, it means your AI agent can pull in external data when answering questions, instead of relying only on the limited information that it was trained on. A vector database is one of the best ways to power RAG because it lets the agent access very large amounts of information efficiently without overwhelming the model. In the last video, we set up two automations, one that uploads data to the vector database and another that lets our AI agent use the data in the vector database. So this is how we upload the data. We've got a document here and it gets split into smaller segments, usually around 1,000 characters each. Each one of those chunks is passed through an embeddings model, which converts the text into a series of numbers that represent its meaning. Those numbers determine where the chunk gets placed inside of the vector database, which you can think of as just a 3D area. So for example, if this first chunk is about fruit, it'll get placed near the other vectors that also relate to fruit. When our agent gets asked a question, that question goes through the same process. It's also turned into a vector. Then, depending on how the agent is configured, it finds the vectors that are most similar, pulls in the text from those chunks, and sends that as context to the LLM to help it answer the question. This is why vector databases are important, because this process is much more efficient than having our AI agent having to process this entire document every time it's asked a question. And its importance becomes even more apparent when you have dozens or even hundreds of documents that the agent should reference. Keeping your data in sync and up to date is crucial for your RAG agent, because if your info changes but your database doesn't, your agent is basically living in the past. That's when it gives wrong answers or misses new details that you just added. Imagine you built a chatbot for a client's restaurant that answers customer questions about the menu. If there's ever a price change or new item added, all the restaurant owner has to do is update the menu in Google Drive, and with these systems, your agent will instantly have that new information synced in the vector database so that it can answer questions accurately. As for the tools we'll need today, one is Supabase. This is a backend as a service platform that we'll use to host our vector database, and we'll be able to use the free tier. 2 is Google Drive, obviously for uploading our documents. 3 is OpenAI. This is for the embeddings model so that we can embed the chunks from our documents. This will cost a fraction of a penny for each document. It's super cheap. And 4 is n8n, which is an open source automation platform that is drag and drop and no code. It's quite easy to learn. I have a video explaining how to install this on your computer for free, and I'll link it here. By the way, if you guys just want to skip the tutorial and download this workflow for completely free, I have a link to my free school community in the description. You'll come in here, find the video, and then find the JSON file associated and click download. Then you'll be able to come in here and import it into your n8n. And just like that, you'll have the workflow ready to go. Here we are inside of a brand new workflow in n8n. This is where we'll set up all of our automations. The first one will be for uploading new files. So as for the trigger, we'll need to watch for new files being uploaded to our Google Drive folder. So for this, we'll use the Google Drive node on changes involving a specific folder. So after you connect your Google account up top by creating a new credential, which I have videos on, I'll link here, you will select your folder from the list. So I'll choose the company data folder, and I'll watch for files being created. In my drive, I have a employee handbook doc that I'm going to move into my company data folder. So I'll move that. Then back in n8n, if I execute this workflow, so our trigger was successfully executed, and the output contains a bunch of data that has to do with our file that we moved into that folder. Like the name is employee handbook, we get the MIME type, a bunch of different statuses, the version number, but the thing we don't have is the actual content of that file. To get that, we'll attach another node, another Google Drive node that is responsible for downloading it. So search download file, choose that one. You'll connect the same credential, and usually when you're configuring this node, you would just select the file you want to download from this list, but in our case, an ID is coming in from the input here, and we're just going to drag that in like so. So JSON.id. And now when we execute this step, we get our file downloaded into n8n as a binary data type, and we're going to be able to pass it on to the next node to process. So let's add that next node, which is going to be for our vector database. So search for Supabase, vector store, choose that, and then choose the add documents to vector store. Now, first things first, let's connect our credential. If you don't already have a Supabase account, let's walk through that right now. So at supabase.com, you're going to sign in or create a new account, go to your dashboard, create a new organization or go to your existing one, then create a new project. Within your project, go to SQL editor, and here is some code that you're going to have to copy and paste. I'll link in the description. This is going to create a new table in your table editor once you click run. Okay, so copy, paste this, click run, and you'll see a new table that is your vector database. Okay, there's a content column, a metadata column, and an embedding column. This is where your vector embeddings will be. And then in order to connect your Supabase project to your n8n, you'll need a service role secret. To get that, go to your project settings and click on API keys. And here is your service role that you can copy and paste right here. And then as for the host, go to Data API and copy the URL and paste it and click save. And it'll say connection tested successfully if everything's good to go. For the table name, you'll choose the documents and then leave embedding batch size as 200. And so now that we have Supabase connected, we can move on to chunking our data. So click this plus icon and choose default data loader. Then as for the type of data, you'll want to change this from JSON to binary. Like I said earlier, this file format is in binary. And then the mode is load all input data. The data format should be automatically detected by MIME type because the MIME type is attached to the file, so we can leave that as is. This is reminding me we need to actually convert our docs from Google Drive to PDFs. So go back to the download file node and add the Google file conversion option. Click add conversion and change this from HTML to PDF. Now when we execute this step, the MIME type is application/PDF. Perfect. And back in our data loader, the next field is text splitting. So we can leave this as is. The simple text splitting means that every 1000 characters is chunked. And as you know, once we chunk the data, now it's time to embed the data. So click this plus icon and search for the OpenAI embeddings. And here you'll connect your OpenAI account. If you don't already have these credentials, let me walk you through it real quick. Click create new credential and you need an API key. So go to openai.com. Log in or create an account, go to API platform. Make sure to have some billing information. So go to profile and click billing and then just add like $5 in here. It's very cheap to run these models. I've added $5 months ago and I'm only down to $3.43. So it's super cheap. And then you'll go to API keys, click create new secret key, give it a name, assign it a project, click create secret key, copy it, paste it here, and then click save. And it should say connection tested successfully if everything's good. And as for the model, you'll choose the text embeddings 3 small. It's the cheapest one and it'll do the trick. And now that we've set all of that up, all there is to do is give it a test run. So we'll click save and we'll run execute workflow. It's downloading the file and then it's uploading it to our vector store super fast. If I go to my vector store table, we see we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 columns or rows here, each one being responsible for a chunk of content from our document. We have a content column for those 1000 characters it chunked, the metadata from the PDF, and then an embeddings column for the series of numbers that our embeddings model came up with that resemble what this content means and where the content should be vectorized within this 3D area that resembles our vector database. The next thing we'll do is create a workflow that will be triggered when there are updates to these files in the Google Drive, so that when we update this file, it'll also be updated in our vector database. We're simply going to copy the Google Drive trigger and paste it below this workflow. Then we'll change the watch for to file created to file updated. So anytime a file is updated in our Google Drive, this trigger will execute. Then let's just copy this download file, paste it in, and connect it. Okay, so let's go to the employee handbook. We'll add some exclamation points to the title, then execute the workflow. The trigger was executed, downloaded the file. Let's download it locally and see if it has the updates. There we go, we got the exclamation points. Before we upload this updated document to the vector database, we'll want to delete the outdated one first. That means we'll need to delete every single row that has chunked data from that outdated file. To do that, our next node will be a Supabase node. That is for deleting a row. Make sure the table name is documents. Then for the select type, choose string. Now we have this string we can input down here for filtering the rows. I'm going to paste this in. It's a bit unintuitive, but this is basically targeting our metadata from this metadata column in our table. This metadata column contains our PDF title, which is employee handbook. So we're filtering the rows that have the title of employee handbook, which is all of them right now. So if we execute this node, it's going to delete all 7 of these items in the database because they had the metadata title employee handbook. So let's refresh and they're all gone. And by the way, this filtering and deleting process is going to be dynamic based on the json.name, which is coming from the Google Drive trigger from the file that was updated. If you're worried that some of your files might have the same name in the Google Drive, making it so that this step deletes the incorrect data, you can make this more accurate by using the file IDs. To do this, you'll need to assign metadata when chunking. So come in here and add the metadata option, add a property called file ID, and give it a value of the incoming file ID value. There you go. Now when we upload to the vector database, the metadata is going to contain the file ID of the file from Google Drive. So now in this filtering string, we can just target the ID and pull in the file ID instead of json.name. So drag this in here. I'll make this file ID. And there we go. 7 items were deleted. That's definitely a better method. All right, guys, so I copied the vector store step from up here and pasted it here and just had to update the default data loader to grab the file ID value from the first step, which is the Google Drive trigger 1. And then I updated the delete a row settings to always output data and updated the download file settings to only execute once so that if 7 rows are deleted, this doesn't execute 7 times. I also switched these 2 steps around so that the download file node could be directly inputted into this node. So I think the best way to test this out is to use an AI agent connected to our vector database store. So that's what I did up here. I'm going to ask it a question in the chat. I'll say, what are the company values? List them out. Okay, there we go. We got integrity, respect, innovation, accountability, and teamwork, which lines up here. I'm going to go ahead and take one of these out. So we'll take teamwork out. And we're going to execute the workflow now. It's going to go and delete all those rows, download the file again, and update our vector store. Let's see. There we go. Looks like it updated it. Let's ask the same question to our AI agent. And this time we got all of the company values except for teamwork. So it looks like it worked. So to recap, we got our first workflow that detects when a new file is added to Google Drive and uploads it to our vector database. Then we've got another workflow that watches for updates, deletes the outdated chunks, and then replaces them with new ones. Now the last piece we need is a workflow that handles deletions. Whenever a file gets removed from Google Drive, it should automatically delete that file's data from our vector database too. The only problem is that n8n does not have a native Google Drive node that detects file deletions. Luckily, there are a few workarounds that I thought of, one being a classic polling method. I've set up a scheduled trigger node that executes every 30 seconds. It'll grab all the files from our Google Drive folder, aggregates that data into just a list of file IDs, and then in this get many rows Supabase node, I've set up this custom filter that will find all the rows in the vector database whose metadata file ID is not in the list of Google Drive file IDs. So basically, it'll find all the outdated chunks from the files that have been deleted, and then this last node is responsible for deleting those outdated chunks/rows. We're going to give all the workflows a test here. So let's move this new sales playbook file into our company data folder. This just goes over some sales data for the company. So let's go to n8n and execute the upload trigger workflow. There we go. We've got our new rows for that document. Now let's try updating it. So we'll just remove one of these guys and execute the update trigger. Okay, it should have the same amount of rows here once we refresh. And it does, it looks like. Awesome. Let's ask the AI agent a question about the product line summary. We'll ask it what the product line summary is. And it gives us only these 3 things, which is perfect because there's only 3 things here, but there was 4 before we updated it. Now for the final test, we'll see about deleting this. So let's go to our drive and delete the sales playbook. We'll execute the schedule trigger. And if we go to our Supabase vector store, we'll see those rows are gone. And let's ask our AI agent a question about it. And it should say it doesn't have that data. I couldn't find that information in the vector database. Awesome. If you guys want to download this workflow for completely free, I have a link in the description to my school community where you can find the download. Please leave a like on the video, it really helps me out, and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.